Welcome to a time of Bible readings and hymns with your host David Kenny of the Wadsworth Church of Christ on Westgood Avenue in Wadsworth, Ohio.
When the moonlight glows, they crucified my Lord, laid him in the tomb. Now lies the Son of God in death's sable gloom. But behold, there was an earthquake, for from heaven there came an angel, with a countenance like lightning, and a raiment white as snow. When at dawn came Mary Magdalene, 'twas the angel's voice, which said, "Lo, he is not here but risen. Christ is risen from the dead.
He who for the world's salvation bled, now is risen, risen from the dead. Glory, honor we will ever sing, praise to our risen, risen King.
Hallelujah, sing with harps to heaven and voices raised, and ever shouting ransom was for you, his blood was shed. Sing a hymn of gladness, sing to God a hymn of praise. Christ the Lord is risen, he is risen from the dead.
Acts chapter 14. And it came to pass in Iconium that they went both together into the synagogue of the Jews, and so spake that a great multitude both of Jews and also the Greeks believed. But the unbelieving Jews stirred up the Gentiles, and made their minds evil affected against the brethren. Long time therefore abode they, speaking boldly in the Lord, which gave testimony unto the word of his grace, and granted signs and wonders to be done by their hands. But the multitude of the city was divided, in part held with the Jews, and part with the apostles. And when there was an assault made both of the Gentiles and also of the Jews with their rulers, to use them despitefully, and to stone them, they were aware of it, and fled unto Lystra and Derbe, cities of Lycaonia, and unto the region that lieth round about. And there they preached the gospel. And there was a certain man at Lystra, impotent in his feet, being a crippled from his mother's womb, who never had walked. The same heard Paul speak, who steadfastly beholding him, and perceiving that he had faith to be healed, said with a loud voice, Stand upright on thy feet. And he leaped and walked. And when the people saw what Paul had done, they lifted up their voices, saying in the speech of the Lycaonia, The gods are come down to us in the likeness of men. And they called Barnabas Jupiter, and Paul Mercius, because he was the chief speaker. Then the priests of Jupiter, which was before their city, brought oxen and garlands unto the gates, and would have done sacrifice with the people, which, when the apostles Barnabas and Paul heard of, they rent their clothes and ran in among the people, crying out and saying, Sirs, why do ye these things? We also are men of like passions with you, and preach unto you that ye should turn from these vanities unto the living God, which made heaven and earth, and the sea, and all things that are therein, who in times past suffered all nations to walk in their own ways. Nevertheless, he left not himself without witness, in that he did good and gave us rain from heaven, and fruitful seasons, filling our hearts with food and gladness. And with these sayings scarce restrained they the people, that they had not done sacrifice unto them. And there came thither certain Jews from Antioch and Iconium, who persuaded the people, and having stoned Paul, drew him out of the city, supposing he had been dead. Howbeit, as the disciples stood round about him, he rose up and came into the city, and the next day he departed with Barnabas to Derbe. And when when they had preached the gospel to that city and had taught many, they returned again to Lystra and to Iconium and Antioch, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of God. And when they had ordained them elders in every church, and had prayed with fastings, they commended them to the Lord, on whom they believed. And after they had passed throughout Pisidia, they came to Pamphylia. And when they had preached the word in Perga, they went down into Italia, and thence sailed to Antioch, from whence they had been recommended to the grace of God for the work which they had fulfilled. And when they were come and had gathered the church together, they rehearsed all that God had done with them, and how he had opened the door of faith unto the Gentiles. And there they abode long time with the disciples.
Your word I must hide in my heart. Your word I must hide in my heart. Your word I must hide in my heart. Your word gives me joy in my heart. Your word gives me joy in my heart. Your word gives me joy. Gives me peace in my heart. Your word gives me peace in my heart. Your word gives me peace in my heart. Your word gives me hope in my heart. Your word gives me hope in my heart. Your word gives me hope. People often ask me, why do you believe? Why do you believe and follow Jesus? That is when I tell them the reasons I can give for knowing that my Savior with God in heaven lives. I believe that Jesus, who was crucified, just as the prophets prophesied, he left the tomb unoccupied with angels in his stead. And I believe he showed himself to witnesses, to those who would attest to his true presence in the midst of them, the many who beheld. So when the people ask me, why do you believe? Why do you believe and follow Jesus? That is when I tell them the reasons I can give for knowing that my Savior with God in heaven lives. I believe they preached him in Jerusalem as resurrected Son of Man, and enemies could not reprimand the truth of all their claims. And I believe disciples suffered sword and flame. They gladly bore the pain and shame to magnify the holy name of Christ their risen Lord. This one great fact of history I'll cling to all my days, that one day I may see him when with him I am raised. That one day I may see him when with him I am raised.
Worthy is the Lamb.
Worthy is the Lamb.
Worthy is the Lamb.
Worthy is the Lamb. Worthy is the Lamb.
Mighty 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 is the Lamb.
Holy is the Lamb.
Is the Lamb.
Holy is the Lamb.
Is the Lamb.
Bible Readings and Hymns with your host, David R. Kenny, with the Church of Christ in Wadsworth, Ohio. Recorded at WCTV Studios, with music provided by Andy Robison. www.churchofchristSongs.com. Bible Readings and Hymns has been produced by the Gospel Broadcasting Network.